First at 4, one eastern Kentucky county is reopening its parks to help ease fears during the COVID-19 pandemic. And find out how this year's Kentucky Gives Day is helping a summer program in our region.
And gloomy conditions return heading into tomorrow. First at 4 is next.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. We'll get to our coronavirus coverage in just a moment, but first at 4, we have some breaking news out of Rockcastle County. Police are at the scene of a death investigation near the fairgrounds in Brodhead. Now, right now, we just know it's a crime scene on Castle Village Drive. We do not know exactly what is going on at this time, but our sister station, WKYT, has a reporter heading to the scene. We will update you as soon as we get more on air and on WYMT.com. As the state begins reopening the economy, county leaders are also starting to lift some restrictions. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more on how Floyd County officials are working to help ease minds by easing up on the closing of public parks.
Today, public parks in Floyd County are officially open to the public, but county officials say there are still some guidelines at play. The public parks and playgrounds in Floyd County have been closed due to coronavirus pandemic concern. They are now open to foot traffic as long as community members adhere to social distancing guidelines. The requirements: staying at least 6 feet apart and sanitizing playground equipment. As the pandemic holds, Floyd County Judge Executive Robbie Williams says if done correctly, utilizing the county's parks may be more beneficial than harmful.
And hopefully do something to let these kids relieve some of their anxiety and some of this build up energy that they have.
Williams says the purpose in reopening the parks is not to encourage group gathering, but to encourage families to get out and enjoy the weather and maybe boost community morale. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Williams says the county does not have the manpower to keep all playgrounds properly sanitized, so he encourages those who use them to do their part. Are you in Corbin or surrounding areas and want to get tested for the coronavirus? Well, today is the first day of testing at the Corbin Arena. This testing is through Kroger with their partnership with the state. Testing is by appointment only from 8:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. They will be doing testing until Thursday evening. They have the capacity to test 400 each day. Hundreds of spots are still available the next 2 days. WYMT's Emily Bennett was at the testing site earlier and will have more tonight at 6 and 11. President Donald Trump is meeting with a group of Republican senators to discuss the economy as House Democrats announce their plans for another big stimulus bill. Meanwhile, several of the nation's top health experts testified before a Senate panel. CBS's Skylar Henry is on Capitol Hill with the latest.
And there are several checkpoints.
Dr. Anthony Fauci warned against reopening the country too soon as he and other top health officials appeared remotely before the Senate Health Committee.
If states or cities or regions, in their attempt, understandable, to get back to some form of normality, disregard to a greater or lesser degree the checkpoints that we put in our guidelines, there is a real risk that you will trigger an outbreak that you may not be able to control.
Officials say they're working to help states get the capabilities for more testing and contact tracing, and the CDC director says more guidelines for reopening states that the White House reportedly suppressed will be published soon.
As we work through the guidances, a number of them go for interagency review and interagency input to make sure that these guidances are more broadly applicable for different parts of our society.
Dr. Fauci said a vaccine could be ready by late fall or early winter.
We have many candidates and hope to have multiple winners.
But the FDA commissioner, Dr. Stephen Hahn, could not guarantee an eventual vaccine would be available at no charge for all citizens.
Sir, the payment of vaccines is not a responsibility of FDA, but I'm glad to take this back to the task force.
House Democrats unveiled their new proposal for another massive coronavirus stimulus package. They're calling it the HEROES Act.
The measure includes funding to state and local governments, hazard pay for frontline healthcare workers, and additional direct payments for many Americans.
This is an historic challenge and therefore momentous opportunity for us to meet the needs of the American people.
The House is scheduled to return to Washington Friday to debate and vote on the bill. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Senate Republicans say the House bill is dead on arrival.
We've seen that sunshine throughout the day today. It's still been a little bit on the cooler side, but warmer than we were yesterday, and it's beautiful out there this afternoon. We'll go ahead and take you up to a few of those cameras. As we look over into our UVA WISE camera, you can see that mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day, but we've seen a lot more sun than we saw yesterday. Looking on top of Jackson right now, those lower 60s, 62 to be exact, and seeing kind of that mixture of sun and clouds. And check out how green it is out there. Looking like spring, but not quite feeling like it yet. It's a little bit on that cooler side, especially for May. Upper 50s to lower 60s across the board. 58 into Prestonsburg, 57 Pikeville, 60 over into London. Satellite and radar shows that mixture of sun and clouds we've seen throughout the day. But as we head into tonight, we are going to see more clouds move back into the mountains, but we are saying goodbye to the frost advisory and freeze warnings. You see we drop into about those low to mid 40s tonight, so still chilly, but we won't have to protect those plants for tonight. Tomorrow, sadly, we do bring back those gloomy skies, scattered showers, but we do start to get warmer heading into your Thursday and Friday. We could see a few scattered chances and a stray chance Thursday and Friday, but overall we see some spring-like temperature and even summer-like temperatures returning back to the mountains. I'll have those details coming up in a little bit.
All right, Paige, thank you. It's that time of year again. It is Kentucky Gives Day. It's a 24-hour online giving event for nonprofits across the state of Kentucky. WYMT's Lacey Roberts spoke with one nonprofit in Knott County and tells us why this day could help some for a lifetime.
It is a day to support nonprofits in the work that they do for the community.
Large amounts, small amounts, any amount at all is what's important.
Not-for-profits are what makes healthy communities.
Tapping into local knowledge allows nonprofits to know what a community needs, especially since there are less government resources.
And so they serve a really critical part in both the economics as well as the mobility and giving voice to people.
Here at Hyman Settlement School, donations raised will go towards their dyslexia summer program. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, they are going virtual and need money for new equipment.
Many of them have not been able to have the tutoring that they need over the last several months, weeks, while school has been out of session.
That means missing out on the importance of one-on-one communication.
We're raising money to be able to get the equipment and the software to be able to give every child a laptop, a headset.
Connecting remotely helps them stay on track.
It's so important that students are reading on grade level by third grade. And should we need to do it this fall and into the future, we're going to have that equipment
to ensure academic success for their futures. In Hyman, Lacey Roberts, WYMT Mountain News.
This will be the 43rd year Hyman Settlement School will host a summer dyslexia program. As you know, the coronavirus pandemic is destroying the U.S. economy, and states are not immune to the effects. Gestamp in South Charleston, West Virginia, an auto parts manufacturer, is laying off more than 140 of its employees. Mayor Frank Mullins said the layoffs are permanent. Mullins says the layoffs are a result of a loss of production due to the pandemic. The CEO of Tesla is defying stay-at-home orders to reopen the company's California factory. It was a packed parking lot at Tesla's assembly plant in Fremont, California, as employees headed back to work at the direction of their CEO, Elon Musk. Musk has been critical of the stay-at-home orders, calling them, quote, fascist. He also said the company is moving its headquarters to another state. Musk filed suit Saturday against Alameda County after the automaker was warned bringing workers back would violate its rules. The county says it is working with Tesla to implement a safety plan.
My opinion is if somebody wants to stay home, they should stay home. And if somebody doesn't want to stay home, they should not be compelled to stay home. That's my opinion.
The dust-up is the result of the state and county having different coronavirus guidelines. California Governor Gavin Newsom said most of the manufacturing in the state is no longer restricted, though there are modifications. But Newsom did acknowledge counties do have the ability to make independent decisions. While some non-essential stores are reopening across the country, weeks of shutdowns saw a big jump in people shopping online, and it is a trend that could continue. Online shopping saw an increase of 49% in April. Sales for electronics jumped, as did leisure clothing. In addition, purchases for alcohol increased 74%, and more people shopped online for groceries, up 110%.
I think for a while, it is going to be the new normal, even as people begin to leave their homes and go back and start shopping.
While online shopping is increasing profits for online stores, it is another hit to brick and mortar stores. Several are announcing plans to file for bankruptcy. A car and pickup truck crashed this afternoon in Charleston, West Virginia. As you see here in this picture, the crash sent the pickup truck onto its side. Emergency crews say the driver of the truck was cut out of the vehicle and then was taken to the hospital. No one was injured inside the car, but officials say the car was, of course, heavily damaged. A flight student is dead and an instructor seriously hurt after a small plane crash in Miramar, Florida. Police there say the plane had some mechanical issues and tried to make it back to a nearby airport. The instructor and student tried to land on a road but clipped a power line and crashed. Video shows the plane flying low before clipping the power line. The instructor is said to be awake and alert in the hospital. Coming up on First at 4, the coronavirus pandemic is changing many aspects of our lives, including how we vote. We'll explain how several states are allowing vote by mail to try and keep people safe.
And those gloomy skies return tomorrow, but warmer temperatures return for your Thursday. I'll have a look at your forecast coming up.